Hello viewers, welcome to Elimu TV. My name is Elizabeth Mungai and this is the Life Skills program. Today I want us to talk about life skills. What is life skills? From the word life skills, there are two words, life and the skills part. Life is all what we all do have. If you're living, if you're breathing, you have life. Skills. Skills is the ability that one has and that one has inside themselves. So the program concentrates on the development of skills and abilities needed for life, and thus the name Life Skills. And an example of life skills will include self-esteem, decision making. How do you make your decision? How do I make decisions in times of trouble, in times of good times? How do I make my decisions? How do I manage emotions? So that is all that life skills entails. And the reason why we talk about life skills is because after education, life skills are important in one's life. Because number one, they will help you, work with your skills and make them better. So if you have a place where maybe you're raising children and you need to make good decisions, we talk about how you can make good decisions with yourself first and with your children and even with others. The other thing, the reason why we talk about life skills is that it helps empower people. Young people are empowered to make good and helpful values in life. Everybody has values. What is value? Something that you look up to and say, I believe in this. So we talk about what kind of values do you love? What kind of values have you taken for your life? And number three is that we help in the transition of different ages. Everybody of us gets to transit at some point in life, from childhood to adulthood. Adulthood includes, maybe one is a preteen, you are going to the adult's age, that is the teen's age. So we talk about what are the challenges, what are you expecting? Maybe you're in school, you've left school, high school, now you're going to college. What are the things that you're expecting? What are you anticipating for life? What do you want for life? And that is what we will talk about. So that is the importance of life skills. We look at the whole package of life. After education, this is the other set of life that we want to talk about. And under life skills, we have very many topics to cover, maybe with questions or even the ones that you have already prepared. But I would want to start from the major and the main one, values. What are your values? Values are beliefs or principles that are important to me. If a belief or principle is important to you, that is value. For example, I have money here. This is 500 shillings, this is 1,000 shillings, and this is 50 shillings. Out of these three notes, I would ask somebody to pick the notes that they would want me to give them, if I was to give them, for example. And most of us, I think, would take on their 1,000 shillings. Why? Because of the value that 1,000 shillings carries. These 1,000 shillings can do a lot of whole stuff. Number one, it can buy food, maybe it can pay electricity. There is many things that this 1,000 shillings can do. For the 500 shillings, it can still do a lot of much work, but not as much as the 1,000 shillings. So we look at value. How much value do we place on these notes? There are 1,000 shillings, 500 shillings, and 50 bob. Maybe some would say 50 bob, but for me 50 bob, maybe it can just give you today's economy. The 50 bob will only give you a packet of milk, maybe. So it's pretty. How much do we put value on our lives? It's the same thing. All of us have been given life. You wake up every morning and you breathe. But how much value have you put in that life? How do you look at life? What is life to you? So the things and beliefs, things, then principles that are important to you, that is what we call values. So why do we have values? All of us have values. Why? Number one, they affect our lives. It's values that affect my life. Why? Every moment I wake up, I value life, and that is why I don't commit suicide. If you don't value life, the moment we get an end to a point of not valuing that life is the moment we say, it's enough now, I want to go. And that's how we take out our lives. Why? Because life has stopped being of value to you. Number two, our values drive us. If you're a student, the reason as to why you study hard work part, is because you value education. So education is what you value, and so you work hard. And you or me also have to look at values from another angle, in that values are things that we also are passionate about. You're passionate about. There are people in this country who are talking about the girl child, the boy child, and it's because they value education, and it's because they value that girl child or boy child education. So if you value something, if you value the girls, if you value the boys, you will strive to stand for them, to talk about them, to fight for their rights, and so on. So number one thing I would want us to know is that every one of us has a value. Knowingly or unknowingly, there's something you value. Consciously or unconsciously, there's something that you value. And I would want to look at examples of values. The number one example of value I would want to give is love. Love is a command that we have all been given, and it is the one thing that we need to share with almost everybody that we meet in our day-to-day life. Love. Before we love others, we need to love ourselves. When you love yourself, that's a value that you've given into yourself. How much do you love yourself? How much do you look at yourself in the mirror and say, that's a good deal, right down here? Because there is nobody that will ever look like you. So when we value ourselves, when we love ourselves, so love for ourselves is the first part. Number two is love for others. We need to love others. That is the point where we look at people and we say we cannot. Number one, I will not call you bad names. I will not carry grudges. Every time that you do me wrong, I forgive you. Why? Because I love you. Number three is that we need to have integrity. Integrity is keeping our word. What you say you will do, you do it at that time that you promise to do it. So that is called integrity. That you told a child, I will buy you candy or a sweet tomorrow at 11. If you do that, that is called integrity. Why? Because you kept your word. So keeping your word has become a value to you. And the other thing is, maybe I have said for the students, hard work. If you value life and you're valuing a future, that you want to look at your future and say this is worth it, hard work is part of it. So hard work and it becomes one of the values. The other thing is courage. How many of us are courageous? Courageous in standing up for the right. And you stand up for the right whether everybody else is standing for it or not. What you believe in. Why? We need courage to stand up for the right things. The other part is that we need to know that we need to be very honest people. I am very much careful when I talk about honesty, because not most of us are very honest. And for you to look at values in a holistic way, you have to be honest with yourself. Know, who am I? Where am I? Am I the people that lie? Am I the people that talk the truth? So we need to be honest with ourselves. And those are some of the examples of value. So I would want each one of us to sit down and maybe think, do I, number one, love myself, others? Number two, am I honest? Do I have integrity? How do I see myself? How do I see other people? How do I look at my job? If you have a job, how do you look at your job? How do you look at lack of a job? Because if you want to get a job, you need to look at getting a job as one of the possibility. You can't keep saying there are no jobs, there are no jobs. You will not get a job if you keep saying that. So what do you value? Do you value honesty? And so I would want us to get into the next part, which is looking at the importance of values. Why should I have values? Why should anybody have values anyway? Number one, values will guide your behavior in life. They will guide your behavior in life. How you behave in front of others, alone, they will guide you. They will, because if you love yourself, even in the secret, you will not do anything to harm yourself. You will stand up for love for self. So it doesn't matter whether you're in the public or in the secret, you will love yourself. So it guides your behavior in life. The other part is that it helps you to keep others in mind. That is when we get to a point and say, I cannot kill anyone. Why? Because I value life for others. So I have kept someone else in my mind. So, number 3 is that it helps me to easily identify my priorities. If you're a young person, maybe, let's say, maybe you're a mother, or maybe you're a father, or maybe you have a sister, or even for your own life, or even you're a leader, it will help you identify your priorities. What are priorities? Priorities are things that are important to you at some specific point. In the morning you wake up, the first thing maybe you do, I don't know, maybe I can guess, maybe you pray, or maybe you make tea first, or maybe you take a shower first, or maybe you brush first. Why? Because that is a priority to you. So you will know the things that are more important than others. And so you start from the things that are important, that are more important, and followed by the ones that are less important. So you will be able to say, this thing can stay now, the other one will come after. Like, for example, if you're a student, you're in class 7, or you're in Form 1, or you're in college, you can say at that point, studies come first. So that is not the moment when you're in high school to go and look for a job. No, you study first. Maybe some can get a job at that age, but for most of us is that we have learned priorities. You learn your priorities. I do this at this time for this reason. The other thing is that values, the importance of values is that they will help you to know what kind of a future you're predicting. What kind of a future are you predicting for yourself? Do you sit down and once think that I want my future to look like 1, 2, 3, 4? What are those goals that you have? The long-term goals, the short-term goals, and the now. Where are you right now? Where do you want to go the next minute? And the minute after that. So they help you to predict your future. You just don't live. Just don't wake up one day and say, today I want to do this. No, you will have planned earlier. Because we say our motto for learning about values is that my values, my future. Everything that we do today will tell us. If today I looked at your life, I would be able to tell what kind of things you value. So values, they will definitely tell you about your future. So in that way, your future stops being something that is vague. It becomes something that you can predict. You can look at it and say, in 5 years from today, I will have cleared school. In 5 years from today, I will have learned how to drive. If 2 years from today, I will have been a mother. If you want to be, I will have been a father. So it is, values help you to know what kind of a future are you predicting. If you decide I want to be a caring person, so you always know that way in your future you stay out of trouble with people. If you want to be if kindness is part of your value, that way you also know that you will have many friends and your life will be pretty easier. Because if you're kind, most people want to be around you. So it's that values will help you to plan your future. And so from that, what we have learned today, I hope that someone can be able to describe, number 1, what are life skills program? What is the importance of that life skills program? What is the importance of values, and what are they? We said the one thing that I don't want to forget, anybody to forget, is that values are important to you, and everybody has them, and that we need values for all of us in office, whether you're in the office, whether you're at home, every day you need to look at your values, because your values will add up into your life. So the one thing I would want is that everybody should sit down and at least either think about them. There are people who are very well to think through things. So you can just sit down and think, what do I treasure? And out of what I treasure, what are my principles? What are my beliefs? And what am I standing up for in life? You can't just believe in. You need to think, what are these things that I treasure so much? Those things that you can stand for anytime, any place, anywhere. Viewers, that has been the end of our program. I hope someone has learned about what are life skills, and we have also learned what values are all about. I hope that anybody that has questions, they can forward them to us. And if you have schools that maybe you would want us to come and mentor your children, you can talk to us through the number on the screen. So you can get back to us through the number on the screen. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you next time as we impact more teachings and mentorship programs to you. I have been your presenter, Elizabeth Mungai. Thank you.